Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I promise that I will be honest with you.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have some opposition to swearing? Is that
Yes,
the
I do.
concern?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you affirm that you will be honest and tell the truth today?
I just told you that I would be, and I will be. I will be completely honest and transparent in regards to the matter of which we're here today.
Okay.
And my experience with this circumstance.
Okay. Great. And can you state your full name?
Jason Allen Spillers.
All right. How old are you, Mr. Spillers?
36.
All right. And you're wearing orange.
Yeah.
Are you in custody at this time?
Not in Cherokee County.
Okay. Do you have pending charges somewhere else?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And does it have anything to do with this case?
Absolutely not.
Okay. And the only reason I'm asking you that is, have we made any kind of deals with you or discussed your charges with you in any way?
No, actually, you made it very clear that you're uninterested in the charges that I have because it has nothing to do with this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm not going to ask you anything else about that.
Okay.
So I want to know how you know Benjamin Ben Michael.
I call him Z.
Okay.
And I call Chloe a Lexus driver Kawani. Those
All
are the
right.
names of which they were introduced to me as.
Okay.
So just to relieve confusion for the court and for the jury, these are the names that I still call these people by.
Okay.
So I just want to make that very clear so there's no confusion. And maybe I just want to make that very clear. So Z, I met Z in April of 2020 through an associate. And we met because of an interest in trust law and using trusts to legally incorporate yourself to minimize risk of obstruction by the government, like in the forms of taxes and being able to hold your properties and assets in a trust and making them safer. And there's a whole lot to that. So, I mean, how much would you like for me to talk about that? That's just the nature of how I met him.
Okay, and that's great. And I'll just keep asking small questions till we get to all the information that we need.
Sure.
You said that you had the interest in the trust law, but how did you actually come to know him? How did you forge that connection? Did you meet him somewhere in particular?
What do you mean? Like
how did you come to know he exists?
Through Peggy Schindler.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you met him through a mutual contact?
A mutual friend.
Okay.
Yes. I saw Peggy in Whole Foods.
Okay.
And she was telling me about the trust.
Okay.
But she perhaps doesn't have the vernacular or the capacity to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
And so Z does. So I spoke with Z, and and then Peggy gave me the trust, and I began a relationship with Z from there.
Okay, and you said that was April of 2020?
Yes, it was.
Okay, and so going forward for the rest of this questioning, I'm going to refer to Benjamin as Z.
That'd be great.
Okay,
yeah, to
that will
avoid
help you.
confusion for everyone.
Okay,
Thank you.
Chloe will refer to as Kuwani?
Kuwani, yes.
That's how you
spell that, please?
Kuwani, Ku'Ani.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And is that how you were introduced to them?
Yes.
Okay, and is that how you knew them through the entirety of your relationship and still with
Yes.
them? Okay. So in April of 2020, when you met Z,
Yes.
was that an in-person meeting when you first encountered him?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, and where physically were you?
In a park. We met in a park in South Asheville.
Okay, in North Carolina?
In North Carolina, yes.
Okay. Was he living there or staying there at that time?
Yeah, he was staying with Peggy.
Okay, and when you met him, did you become aware of his relationship status?
Yeah.
Okay, and what did you learn about his relationship status?
That he has 4 wives, actually,
Okay.
and that he practices polygamy.
Okay.
Is that the question? Is that the answer you were looking for?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to get at.
Sure.
At that time, were you in a relationship?
Yes, I was.
And did you exercise any type of polygamy?
No.
Okay. And so when you initially met him, did you come to know his wives?
Not initially, but we did later. I believe I met Kawani briefly in May, but we really spent some time together in late May.
Okay.
When I went down to Florida to visit them with the girl that I was with at the time.
Okay. So you had a girlfriend at the time?
I wouldn't call her my girlfriend, but
Okay.
she was living with me, and I mean, I guess you could say that I have always believed in plurality as well. That that men should have multiple women, but I was never in a committed. I mean, I was with Jen. She lived with me,
Okay.
and I took care of her. I provided her. She didn't work, so I provided her with food and shelter and safety and companionship and love. But it was never in our agreement that I wasn't allowed to see other women.
Okay.
So.
And as it relates to Z and his relationship, who were his wives that you came to know?
So their given names on their birth certificates would be Chloe Alexis Driver, Jessica Lee Kafijian, and Sarah Stiles.
Okay.
But those women will be referred to as Kawani and Anna, Gamliana, and Shalig, respectively, because those are their chosen Hebrew names.
Okay. Tell me about Jessica. You said, what did she go by as her chosen Hebrew?
Gamliana.
Gamliana?
Yes.
How do you spell that?
Gamiliana. I'm pretty sure. I'd have to look at it.
Okay.
Gamliana, yes.
And you all called her Gami?
Gami or Anna, she prefers now.
Okay.
Because she says that people have a hard time pronouncing Gami and they question her, so she goes by Anna now.
Gami or Anna. Okay.
Yes.
And is that a decision that she made to change that from Gami to Anna?
Yes.
Okay. Because
like I said, she says that when she introduces herself as Gami, people say, what? And so she just goes by Anna now.
Okay. And then Sarah is the legal name.
Shalig.
Shalig?
Shalig.
How do you spell it?
Sheilig. It's a Hebrew word.
Shalig?
Shalig. It's a
Okay.
Hebrew word. Yes.
All right. So, when did you meet Kawani, Gami, and Shalig?
Like I was saying, I think I actually met Kawani and Gami in May before they left, like briefly at Peggy's house.
Before they left North Carolina?
They left North Carolina to go to Florida, but
Okay.
I can't remember. It seems like I did. So you're asking me, this is like 5 years ago almost. So, whether I met them before I went to Florida, I can't remember. It feels like I did, but that's kind of irrelevant because we went to Florida, Jennifer and I, this girl that I was with at the time.
Okay.
We went to Florida to visit them and stay with them.
All right. Do you know when that was that you went to Florida to visit and stay with Z?
It was after Kawani's birthday, which is the 18th.
Okay. Tell me when Kawani's birthday is. 18th of what?
May.
Okay. So after May 18th of 2020, you and Michelle?
Jennifer.
Sorry, Jennifer.
Yes.
You and Jennifer went to Florida.
Yes, we did.
And did you stay with Z and Gami?
No, we stayed in our van.
You stayed in your van, okay.
Yeah, but we spent all of our time with them though. Like they were staying in a motel at the time.
Okay.
In Nokomis Beach.
Where?
Nokomis Beach,
Where's
Florida.
that?
It's by Venice. It's like south of Sarasota.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that when you first met them, they were in North Carolina, and then they went to Florida. That they were staying in hotels. For the duration of your relationship with them, was that routine for them to kind of move around or travel or stay in different places?
Yeah, they were moving around a lot at the time.
Okay.
From what I understood, but they had been in, I can't recall what they were doing before that, but they stayed in Florida and then they went to Connecticut and they would stay in different places for like months at a time. I know that they stayed in Florida for months. After we left Florida, they stayed there for at least another month, I think.
Okay.
And they would stay in one place, like a singular location for a few months, and then they would go to the next location wherever they decided to go. I know that Kawani and Z had been in Myrtle Beach together for a pretty extended amount of time, in Virginia Beach. That's where they met Gamliana. So they stayed in these places for extended periods of time.
Okay. So you're aware of Florida, North Carolina, Connecticut, Virginia,
Yes.
anywhere else?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean,
Did they ever spend time in Tennessee?
I don't think any extended time. I don't know. I can't remember.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean,
All right.
so
And so you indicated sometime in May of 2020 you went down to Florida and spent a lot of time with them?
yes,
Okay.
we spent a week down there.
A week?
Yeah, about
Was
a
that
week.
the first time you saw Benjamin with all three of the women?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yes.
And when you first met him and learned that he had 3 wives, sort of what was your thought process on that arrangement or situation?
I thought that was really interesting because usually you only see that with like religious cults like Mormonism, even though scripturally, even old Jewish and Christian tradition promotes plurality. Like it's promoted in Scripture that men have multiple wives. Like it's written about all through the Bible, but you don't really see it that much anymore. Perhaps in Mormonism only. And I had spoken with Z extensively about what was happening with his his wives in this situation, and I found it pretty interesting because he was providing care, all of the things that a man is supposed to provide for a woman. Like I said, and it was kind of like something that I was interested in because, like I said with Jen, I provided Jen with food, a place to shelter. She didn't work. I provided her with companionship and love, and I listened to her, and I was affectionate towards her, even though I was never in a committed relationship. But it's like the value of having a wife is profound, like the value of having that intimacy that perhaps couldn't be achieved through a non-marital relationship. And so Z had basically taken what I found to be what I wanted in life was plurality, but also incorporating the deep intimacy of marriage with multiple women. And I thought that was highly interesting, and I was very curious to see how that played out and how that worked. And so was Jennifer. Honestly, she's like, whoa, like multiple wives, really? Wow, we that's different. Like we should totally go hang out with him. So we did. So we went to Florida. Sorry, I'm gonna adjust myself.
You're fine.
My niece.
And you said you were kind of interested to see how it played out
Basically, like we're talking about like the social dynamic of a circumstance like that, which I think is really like where most people go with that. When they hear about polygamy, most individuals will question the social dynamic of such relationship, and how does that work? Like, what is the social dynamic between the women, and the social dynamic between the women and the women and the men? I mean, you can see these types of shows. There's shows on television now that promote polygamy and
like Sister Wives.
Like Sister Wives, yeah, exactly. And so it's kind of like to see a first-hand perspective of that, of somebody who's really living like that. I thought was highly interesting. I was very interested in what these women had to say and what they were about. Okay. So was Jennifer.
Tell me, you said you were interested to hear what the women had to say and what they were
Well, yeah, I was just curious how they interacted with each other.
Okay.
So.
From May of 2020, when you said that you and Jennifer went to Florida and started spending time with them, how much time did you spend with Z and the 3 women from May until December of 2020?
Oh, well, there's a lot. Okay. I mean, so I went to go see them in May, and then I broke up with Jennifer. I broke it off with Jennifer over the summer, so she actually never saw them again.
Okay.
And then I stayed in Connecticut at Z's parents' house at the Joyce home in Connecticut in September for, I think I was there for about a little over 2 weeks.
Tell me about his parents. What do you know about them?
Oh, I love the Joyces. They're good. Mike Joyce is great. Is a good man. They're essentially Michelle Joyce is they're very powerful people. Like even they're like really intelligent. They're highly intelligent people, highly well spoken about their traditions and values, and they're very warm and open and welcoming folks. Like,
Are they, his biological parents, still married?
yes.
Do you know what they do for a living?
Michelle sells real estate, and Mike works at a factory,
Works at a factory?
like a machine shop.
Okay. So you said you went to Connecticut and you stayed at his parents' house?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And how much time did you spend at his parents' house?
Like I said, I was there for a little over 2 weeks, I think.
Okay. Was he there with the 3 women as well?
Kawani and Gamliana were staying there, and Shaylig was there sometimes, but her parents also live in Connecticut, so she was at her parents' some too.
Okay, so Shaylig's parents are from Connecticut as well?
Yeah, they live like, I don't know, it's like 45 minutes down the road in Southbury.
Okay, so Gami and Kawani and Z and you spent time at his
Yeah,
parents' house.
we sure did.
While Shaylig spent time with her family?
Yeah, I was sleeping in my van. Again, I had a van
Okay.
that I stayed in.
Okay.
And so I was sleeping in the driveway in the
Alright.
van.
And was it, from your observations, was it common for these women to go spend time with their families outside of their relationship with Z?
I mean, if they wanted to.
Okay.
I don't think, I mean, I didn't really get the feeling that Kawani or Gamliana were very, like, you know, enthusiastic about going to spend time with their parents.
Okay.
And that they loved their husband and they stayed with him.
Okay. But Shaylig wanted to go see her family in Connecticut?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just like a matter of convenience too, because they're all like staying at the house, and you know, Shayla she went back and forth, you
Okay.
know, so.
Did you ever meet the parents of Shaylig, Gami, or
I've met all these people.
Kawani?
I've met them all.
You met all of their parents?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Tell me the circumstances under which you went into their families' homes.
Let's see. I met Phil and Nancy Kafijian in October of 2020. I have actually stayed with Ben and Sharon Stiles at their home in Connecticut. I stayed there for the better part of a month.
That's Shaylig's parents?
At Shaylig's parents, yes, I sure did. And I've met Eric and Renee Driver on several occasions. I met them for the first time in the summer of 2020. I met Kawani and Z and Eric and Renee Driver at a river in Tennessee, and we spent the day together.
Okay.
That was the first time I met
So
them.
Phil and Nancy Kafijian are
Jessica's parents.
Jessica or
Gamliana.
Gamliana's
Yeah, I knew
parents.
that. We're going to try to avoid this confusion.
Where do they live?
They live in Virginia Beach.
In Virginia Beach. Okay.
Yep.
And then you said that Shaylig's parents live in Connecticut.
Yes, they do in
And
Southbury.
do you know where Eric and Renee Driver, Kawani's parents, live?
In Knoxville, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I've never been to their house,
Okay.
so.
All right.
But I know that she's from Jacksonville originally, but
Okay.
I think they moved
Okay.
to Knoxville.
Okay. And do you know what the order of the women coming into this marriage was? Like
Yes.
who was first?
Yeah, it
Okay.
was Kawani first.
Okay. Do you
And
know
then-
how long she had been with Z? Like as of 2020 when you met him, how long they'd been together?
Gosh, you know, I don't know the answer to that question. Years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who came next?
Jessica Gamliana.
Okay. And how long had she been with him?
I think like Kawani and Z had been together since she was like right when she was 18, and then they met Gami a few months later.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know the answer to these questions
Okay.
exactly.
If you don't know, then
Yeah.
that's fine.
I'm
but
just
if
like
you do know,
telling you what I think it is.
Okay.
It's kind of like I haven't really considered that. I haven't, you know. I'm sure I was told at some point, but I mean, golly,
Okay.
you know.
and from your understanding, who was the last woman to kind of enter the picture?
Shaylig.
Shaylig.
Yes.
And when you met them, do you have any idea how long Shaylig had been in a relationship with Z?
I'm gonna guess like 6 months or something like that.
Okay, so pretty recent.
Yeah, within the year. It had been within a year.
Okay. Do you still have a relationship with Z?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And do you know whether Shaylig and Gami are still with him?
Yes, they are.
They are.
They
Okay.
are very much still with him.
Okay. All right. So when we were talking about the sort of the social dynamic of polygamy and sort of your interest in that when you met Z,
Yes.
what did you observe about sort of his treatment of the women or their interaction and treatment toward him? Like, what was that from
I
your
observed a
perspective?
very beautiful, healthy relationship.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
That all, like, they would wake up every morning and talk about feelings, you know, which I thought was really cute.
Talk
And
about feedings?
feelings.
Oh, feelings. Okay.
Like, they would wake up every morning, they would be in the hotel, and Z would wake up with these girls, and, you know, they'd all wake up and sit around and talk about feelings.
Okay.
And how they felt that day and why they were feeling that way. And he would sit and be patient and kind and caring to them.
Okay.
And treat them the way a wife should be treated, with compassion and patience and love.
Okay.
And even Jennifer and I, we both observed this. I was actually a little surprised at the amount, like the absence of like petty argument and jealousy, you know, because you have to kind of expect that. That's what Jen said too. Like, we were like, wow, this is really, like, they really have a healthy thing here.
Mm-hmm.
That they're all interacting with each other. They all share the same type of value for humanness, you know, that like there's a real value here that you don't see in a lot of individuals. Like, most people act solely in self-interest, and that's not what you saw with these girls and their man. And it was really sweet, actually.
Okay.
Like, Z was always, he was being very kind to them, and they all got along. Like, I didn't see, you know, we stayed there for over a week in the van, and, you know, we didn't see any bickering, and we were with them all day, every day,
Okay.
like this whole time.
And that was
you know,
the week
so-
you spent with him in Florida in May of 2020?
That's right, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
When you left Florida, I asked you sort of the broad question of how much time you spent with them between May of 2020 and December of 2020.
Sure.
But after that week in May, when did you later spend chunks of time with them and where?
Well, like I said, I met up with Z and Kawani and her parents at a river in Tennessee.
Do you know when that was?
Gosh, sometime in the summer of 2020. I actually cannot remember exactly when that was.
Okay.
And then I stayed with Z. I stayed in his parents' driveway for a few weeks in September. Then I went back home, and then I came to Virginia Beach in the middle of October, and I stayed there for about 3 weeks with Z and Kawani, and Gamliana too. Sarah Shalig was in Connecticut at that time with her parents.
Okay, so in October, you spent 3 weeks in Virginia. Shaylee was with her parents.
That's right.
And Kuwani and Gami and you and Z were together in Virginia?
That's right.
Okay. I want to get signed back into this computer. I want to show you. May I approach the witness?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 84. Do you recognize who this person is?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's Gami.
Okay. Does this accurately reflect the person you know?